Hi, my name's Snow. This is Chester.
Hello.
We are doing a podcast on Shipunian right now. We did the last three episodes. Was it Friday? And then now we're just finishing at the last final three. So it's a total of six episodes that we watched. Chester's going to start us off with episode four this time, just because he just recently watched it.
Yeah, and I do want to ask, did you say the name of the anime again? Because I heard Shippuden.
Shipunian? No?
No.
Okay.
So the anime is
Fuck
called
off.
Spriggan.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was looking
So if you
at
guys don't know,
Shibuya.
Snow has mild dyslexia, so that kind of
No,
affects.
I actually it's actually here. I'll send you a picture of what
And
I
she's
was
actually
freaking looking
watching
at.
Naruto Shippuden. So that's
Sorry.
why.
I was looking at Naruto. That's my bad. Like,
So
what do
we're off
you
to a
mean? I even
great
looked it up
start
and
here. So that
everything.
is amazing.
I looked it up and everything. I was like, what's the name of this again? And it was like Shibuya. Obviously, because I'm looking at fucking Naruto. You dumbass.
So that's
Uh,
great.
sorry.
That is amazing. Okay, so the anime is Spriggan. You guys can watch it on Netflix. It's on Netflix. Um, and we did leave off on episode 4. If you guys haven't watched the first episode, it's gonna be on the YouTube channel. It should be just called Spriggan 1. This one's gonna be Spriggan 2 because it's the second part. It's gonna be episodes 4, 5, and 6. So Berserker is called the Berserker is the name of the episode. Now, this one is a little bit it it starts off really corny. I'm not even gonna lie. So it opens up. It does. Honestly, it does. So for some reason they, like I said before, they try to make you care that this guy's in high school, but at the end of it, it's just like no, it just feels weird now. Well, anyways, so episode 4 is it starts off with him in high school. He's really tired. I think he tells his friends, classmates, whatever they are, that he's tired because he's been up late at night gaming.
Video gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that's why. Later on, he does get a call from his boss. I forget what his boss's name is, but he gets a call from them. Tells him, "Hey, look, listen. Uh,
Yamato?
is it
Mr.
Yamato?
Yamato. Yeah.
Okay, then thank you for that.
Sorry.
Yamamoto.
Mm.
All right. Um, he tells him. He mentions that he was told by Arkham that it was an urgent matter, and you is all they have. Uh, that conversation gets cut off really quickly. They don't really go into any detail. They don't go into any backstory. They don't really go into much of anything there. But we do get a sense that like this one is well something big's going on, and they're trying to keep you out of it because this one might actually be incredibly dangerous. So from here, crap, sorry, I forgot, lost my space on my notes. Um,
He's leaving to go to the mission.
right, okay, cool, thank you. So you ends up getting called up. My mind went blank. I'm sorry, but yeah, you ends up getting a call. He gets told, "Hey, look, we need you to go over there. There's something huge that's going on, and you are the only one that we have for this one. Since Gene or John, he's doing something else. I have no idea. They don't actually go into it, but he's the only one. So it then cuts over to I don't remember which country it is, but it's in the middle of a forest. Luckily enough, an airbase. The enemy ends up putting up a strong resistance. Uh, they do show some really good gunfight. It's a real not good, but an extended gunfight.
You haven't explained why.
Why what?
Why they're holding up a good gunfight? What are they protecting?
Well, that's because they found the berserker.
Yeah, but you missed that part. You didn't say that.
Oh yeah. Well, see, I'm telling you, I lost my space on my notes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That is
Don't be. You're
incorrect. That is
good.
my fault entirely.
No, you're good. It was like a key kind of like, why are they fighting kind of thing. That's why someone would question. No, but it's just like essentially,
But then again, the way that
listeners.
the episode is spaced out, it does get a little bit confusing because they don't actually mention the berserker. They don't show the berserker until
Well, they
later
didn't
on,
say the berserker exactly,
or
but they
an
did
artifact.
say an artifact, an
Yeah,
ancient artifact, right? Because the scientist is like, okay, we need this artifact out of here, right? I worked too hard to get this like taken away. And then the military personnel are like, yeah, this package, this needs to be transported. It's some sort of artifact. The what is the company's name again?
Arkham.
Arkham can't get a hold of it, right? Etc. And then that's when they send in you, the kid, and then that's where Chester was at, saying um, they were having a strong resistance because the whole objective was for you to not let that plane take off, right? That plane needs to stay in whatever city they are in again. I don't remember.
I don't think it's even a
Um,
city. They're just in the middle of
it's like kind
nowhere.
of in the middle of nowhere, right? But it needs to stay air grounded, and then Arkham will retake possession of the ancient artifact,
Yeah,
right?
but during the middle of the gunfight, they do end up finding out that you is part of the people that are part of the group that is trying to get the artifact.
Hmm.
And the US Army had no idea that they were going to send in you because they only sent him in when there are special artifacts that need to be protected or where there are special artifacts that need to be taken care of. So they
Right, and
had no
then
idea.
that's why they assume it's
Yeah,
a special artifact. Okay, great.
right. No, no, 100%. Yeah, you're right. So because of that, since they know that use there, they kind of figure out, okay, well, number one, it's going to be an ancient artifact with a lot of power. Number two, it might be biblically important for something. Because, again, U is only used when those types of artifacts are found or when they're involved. Um, for some reason, they do mention that because you and Arkham are involved, then MI6 is somehow involved as well. And again, we don't exactly know why, but the US is the bad guy in this. But then again, seeing as how they are,
No, they're not the bad guy,
well,
but
they're
they're
the main instigators.
unaware. They are unaware of what they have possessed because it's like they're scientists essentially. They want power. They don't know what they have.
True, true.
Right? Like they genuinely had no idea until it was too late, but we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Kind of, sort of. All right. So, because of that, you also is trying to keep track of his time because I think this is all taking place either Wednesday night or Thursday,
I
and
think it was
he had
Tuesday.
well that doesn't really fall into place there. That's what kind of confuses me because um, it's not a 24-hour clock that he's looking at because it counts over
He was
24 goes
also in the
into.
basement for a while, and then when he came back out, it was nighttime. So think of it this way, he would have had to fly to where they were,
Okay,
which
then
that
it
would
was
have took
probably
some
then
time.
Wednesday
He
then.
got there in like the evening, right? Like so he probably because on the phone. Okay, this is a side story, guys. You can skip ahead if you want to know what continues. This is just a debate at this point.
No,
All
don't
right.
skip ahead. Listen
All
to the entire thing. You are supposed to listen to the entire thing, and we're gonna
right.
hold you
Okay.
to
Okay.
it.
Okay. So on the anime, when he's in the bathroom at the beginning of the episode, it shows Tuesday, and he's like, "Yeah, I can make that work Friday." Okay, because he has to go back to school on Friday. Because that's what he told his classmates. So then he gets there, and it's portrayed Wednesday during the day because he has to fly to get there. Okay. And then they obviously capture it, right?
Right.
They take it up in the plane, and then he has to fly again to get there again. So then that would make it Thursday, right? And
So then
then
he's
he
there from.
defeats them, all that, and then by the time he gets out, it's nighttime. And then he has to fly back to
Okay,
school,
I
and
hear
then
what you're
that's
saying, but then
when
again, take into account the time zones. If it's Tuesday in Japan, it might be Monday in the
you
on
know what?
in.
We're not getting that complicated. Move
Well,
on.
I'm just saying that because that brings up that
That's
brings up
just
that as well.
complicated
See,
now. No.
okay, so let's just say it's early Wednesday morning, like 1 in the morning Wednesday morning.
Mhm.
That's going on. They the army loads up the artifact, which we don't know is a berserker yet. They just call it an artifact. They start loading it into a cargo plane and use missionists obviously to find and stop it. Stop that
Mhm.
plane from taking off. Um, you end up getting into a firefight with another group, another two groups actually, um, that ends up hindering him. So much so that by the time he reaches the tarmac where the plane's taking off from, it's already taxiing and it's gonna be taking off. Yu shoots off one of the cables that he got in episode 2. He somehow manages to grapple it and uses the muscle suit to try and pull the plane back down. Unfortunately, that's not able to happen. The plane ends up taking off, and he calls for a chop, right? A helicopter to see if
Yes.
cool. Okay, sweet. To see if they can if he can catch it, intercept it, stop it, whatever it is. Bottom line, he's
Mhm.
so that he can reach, get the artifact, and bring it back. So switching over to Snow on this
We are at the part where he lands
one. Mm-hmm.
in the U.S. Okay. So he makes it to the U.S. Obviously he has to
Oh no,
infiltrate
not the U.S., the United Kingdom, England.
United Kingdom. Sorry. Pardon me.
No, no,
Ooh.
you're good. You're good. We got the United part right.
Obviously it's to infiltrate to get in because it's kind of like a military base. Um, so while he's doing that, the scientists are talking to one of the military professors. That makes sense. Like, I don't know how else to explain her. She's obviously a
Um,
professor and a scientist,
the
but
girl is a
working.
sergeant.
Yeah, but
They call her
okay.
sergeant. Yeah, I have
So she's
military
a
rank
sergeant,
sergeant.
but she does have like scientist history and all that. Like a background of it. So that's why she's a sergeant. They obviously have the berserker in there. They have no idea what they have. And then the scientist is like, no, no, no. Like you need to wait before you zap it, right? We need to do more tests. We need to do this, right? We don't know what's gonna happen if we like power it or try to power it, etc. Right? And then the freaking sergeant is very airheaded, easiest way to say it at that time.
Yeah,
She's like, the
yeah.
military is best, whatever. Like you can't. It's the typical military personnel.
I
I
don't know
have
about
something.
military.
I'm gonna
Yeah, yeah, you're 100% about
for
that. Yeah,
the
that's true.
movie's sake. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
When they take something away from scientists, honestly,
But
easiest way to
then
say it.
again, if you kind of think about it, it's the same way with the scientists. They're always like, no, you can't do this. We need to run tests on it. Because
Yeah,
scientists like running tests on things. So, I don't know. They
yeah.
followed
But
that trope
in this episode, you
incredibly horribly.
clearly see the scientists were in the right. They were clearly. So obviously they're dumbasses, aka sergeant in the military. Shock it with power. Okay. And then that is where we are introduced into the berserker. So the whole facility goes out of power and the berserker starts lighting up. Meanwhile, you is like, oh, I guess that takes care of that problem. And he kind of just necessarily walks in Berserker's going crazy. He can see heat waves. He has like beams, X-ray beams, lasers. That's the word I'm looking for. He has lasers, pretty much unpenetrable armor, like 3 eyes. Like what is it? Like 4 arms or something. Like
Yeah,
this
I think
dude's
it's
just
like
like
four. It looks like a scare beetle, kind of, sort of.
it. Literally does not like humans would do nothing to it. It's literally like a little fly.
It
We are
reminds
flies
me
to
of
it.
you know those beetles with the horn in front.
Yeah,
It looks like
yeah.
that for me.
That's a valid
It
thing.
looks like that if it had like eyes all over the place.
Yeah. So that is what it happens. So obviously it starts killing everyone in sight. Everyone's running, trying to take it down, and then that's when the Spriggan. Probably I should switch over to Spriggan. The Spriggan enters the building. He's like, "What the hell's going on?" Obviously, there's smoke. The fire alarm's going off. Chaos. Okay, under control. So the Spriggan runs into the sergeant, and then she's like, Spriggan was like, "You powered that thing," and then kind of got mad at her, right? And she's like, "This is why you," right? And she's like, "Oh, sorry,"
Well,
and
she
and
gets mad
he's
at
just,
him because, sorry, she gets mad at him because, no, sorry, he got mad at her because the berserker came to life and murdered everyone. Among those were about three other scientists that were standing right beside the oldest, who were his companions.
yeah.
So they they're the probably the very first ones to go to when the berserker comes to life. He just kind of destroys them. They basically just explode.
Well, yeah. So essentially, then the Spriggan and Sergeant become one team to take this down, right? Because there's no other way. So Spriggan does like a mini battle as the Sergeant runs off to safety. Then they meet back up after the Spriggan takes a hit.
Hmm.
Um, the sergeant and the Spriggan are in the control room. They have a wonderful discussion.
I don't know
And
if it's more of a
then
discussion. It's more of a
like they get to know each other, but like in that
yeah.
like you're a teenager and I respect you, right? Like the sergeant's starting to respect this
The weird thing is
Spriggan.
that she starts to blush when she talks to him, and it's like you're just talking to him. Like,
Yeah.
why are we introducing the blushing? It's like, are you hot for him or like, why? It's the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest time to and for them to start blushing at each other. But
Anyway, they
I'm
come
just
up with a
saying, it's true,
plan.
isn't it?
They I'm not saying it's not.
It's true. Thank you. Thank you.
They come up with a plan and then they more or less take down the berserker. Obviously, there were some flaws in the plan, etc. The scientist, one key part of that was one of the flaws in many was, and they're trying to take down the berserker before it reaches the outside because once it gets outside, they're unable to control it and it's going to head to cities and destroy the cities.
Yeah, because
Obviously, sorry.
no, no, you're good. Because we don't know, or the scientists, the military, they didn't know if one, it could be controlled by anything outside
Mhm.
of it, or it could be programmed by anything outside of it. They don't know what it could take or how it works, so that if it gets out, it might actually be another kind of apocalyptic scenario, kind of like the Noah's Ark.
Exactly. So, the Spriggan and the professor, no, sergeant, pardon me,
We
are
might
working
just call her
together.
the professor too, or
I
the
don't know.
scientist.
It's just my brain is just like there's so many professors and
I think,
then
yeah,
freaking
you're right.
sergeants, and then it's just like those are like
Turn
the two main things that they use.
true, true, because they don't call her by name.
um,
Although she does have a name, and it does. They do call her Maria Clement or Clement, but
ah,
Maria, I don't know, the scientist, military scientist, whatever she is. More than likely, we're
so
just gonna keep calling you the scientist.
one of the flaws that there was in the plan is that the sergeant got locked out of the system in the control room, so she had to go to the backup main room. And that one of the scientists was actually controlling and helping the berserker escape, right? Because like the sorry, not the scientist, the freaking
Yeah,
I'm
the
just gonna say
science is the
Maria now.
professor.
I'm gonna say
Yeah,
Maria
yeah.
was trying to close all the doors and lead the berserker into this kind of like a spot in the facility where they could literally blow it up and it wouldn't like do a massive amount of damage to anything.
Hmm.
But the scientist was opening the door so the berserker could leave. Obviously, the scientist was wounded and went like, "This is all your fault. My men died, and now I'm gonna die too." He kind of goes mad. So Maria gets hit, and then she's able to open all the doors and lead the berserker where they want to. The Spriggan takes him down barely and barely survives, but still survives. Maria faints. Spriggan's like, "Where are you?" And then he obviously does first aid. He
True,
gets
but we
miraculously
do need
back
to
into school.
right, but we do need to remember because we're missing something huge here. He doesn't just stop the berserker; he manages to somehow
Get it
stop
to
it.
self destruct.
But
He got it to self destruct.
no, no. So he takes it down, but before he can actually land a finishing blow or the killing blow, the berserker activates a self-destruct mode. So
Correct.
instead of them having to like hunt it down over and over and over later on, uh, they figured, well, you know what? It's just gonna blow up anyway. So that's the best case scenario. And that
Mm.
happens. It blows up. For some reason, he's able to slightly make it out, but sometime later, Maria wakes up because she fainted in the whole scenario. I don't know why they always faint, but she wakes up after fainting from the wound that she sustained from the scientist because he had shot her in the beginning, way before the Spriggan had gotten there.
Hmm.
Luckily enough, she did get some first aid from the Spriggan. Uh, it stopped her from bleeding out. The director of the DIS comes in to see Maria, and he tells her that what went down, what happened at the base, and it's been covered up. The public was told that the base was attacked by a far right extremist terrorist group. They left it at that, and she kind of just accepted it. She didn't want to accept it, but in the end, they really had no other choice because she
She
was out.
also threw away her badges too,
She did, yeah. That was I don't know why. That could have.
because the false
Mm,
the fact that the arm so she realized from you because there was a moment back when they were having their discussion is that she's like uh the Spriggan was like to her, you know what the scariest thing is though? It's the people. It's not this machinery that's scary. It's the people that had the minds to make it.
mhm.
Right? And that's like clicked with her, right? And then just seeing how dangerous it was and how uninformed they were, right? And then how the army like covered it up like that, and then they're going to continue to do the things that they were doing,
Mhm.
even though that was a very close call. That's I think why she threw away the badges and that she's like, I'm done.
I think you might be right on that one too. But after that, the episode kind of just ends. Flashes back to the school where they're having their I think it's the spring sports festival.
Yeah,
But
something like that.
yeah, where you had told them to put him as the anchor at the end of the relay. And from the last episode, I think this is what made me think that he always wears the armor suit or the muscle suit because he runs there. He runs to his spot while he's bandaged up. Like he's heavily
He
bandaged up.
has heat burn, like he has heat burns from the battle with the
Listen,
berserker.
if you've ever gotten burnt or if you've ever gotten a steam burn, you know that anything that you touch will hurt no matter how light it is. So,
Just explaining them why
uh,
he's bandaged up.
okay, well, Uh, but yeah, he ends up running straight to school. He runs to his place in the relay just as the baton is getting to him. He grabs the baton and he somehow sprints at 40 miles an hour to the finish line. And they win, obviously. So the, that's where it ends. That's where episode 4 ends, the Berserker, and then we move on to episode 5. Episode
Episode 5 is the Crystal Skull. So, do I have permission to speed through this one?
You do go ahead.
All right. So, okay. Obviously, the Spriggan gets cold. Actually, hold on. We got to do this one a little bit differently. Ah,
We do, yeah.
JK. So, um, Yamato, is that the name?
Yamamoto.
Yama Yamano
Two M's in there, so
Yamanoto.
no.
Whatever.
Yamamoto.
Anyway, okay, so the
So
boss. We're gonna
we
call him the
this, this
boss.
happens regularly. And I mean it. It happens regularly.
We're gonna call him the boss of the Spriggan.
Yamamoto.
Okay, so the Spriggan's boss informs you that one of their architects has been killed. It's like his body's been cut up in multiple pieces, limbs torn off of him. Why he was still alive. It was brutal stuff. Okay.
Just like everyday type of stuff, right?
Pause. The reason why the archaeologist, actually, that was the
Archaeologist. Gotcha.
yes, archaeologist was torn up into bits is because they found this crystal skull. And guess what? It is an ancient artifact. All
Oh yeah.
right. So,
For fun fact though, those crystal skulls are real. They found
I
two. There's supposed to be three. So
yes.
they, they
So
they are real. They do exist.
they're super powerful things in the wrong hands. They can be used for nuclear missiles in a way, etc. Um, so the professor was taking it to a safe place, obviously got intercepted by a serial killer, and then that's how he died. So um, Spriggan's boss informs him, and the Spriggans attends the funeral, right? So he goes to the
Mm-hmm.
country, attends the father's funeral, and then he runs into the archaeologist's daughter, right? And then she's like, "How did you know my father?" Essentially, and he's like, "I work from Arkham." They obviously have a conversation. She's a little be like, "I don't like you," etc. Right? And then you trying to explain all the work they've done, how much of a help he was, like her father was, and how much like you has a respect towards her father, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're in the village at this point when they're talking and walking, right? And then you realizes that there is people trying to kill her. Obviously,
Obviously.
obviously, he saves the day. He kills the bandits, and then she's like, "What the heck?" They escape. Okay, and then the scene cuts to the bad guys this time. The bad guys are talking about like, oh, this dude must be a Spriggan. Um, there's no way that someone has that kind of like blood sense. Like you know, when like you kill a lot of people, apparently you have like a sense like for bloodlust or whatever, right?
Bloodlust is a little bit different, but
Ah, you
yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean.
yeah. Well, that's all right. I'm not
Whatever
nitpicking.
it
I'm just
was.
kind of yeah.
Then we get a sneak peek at all the three bad guys, the boss, and then the two sidekicks, and we also get to see the crystal skull.
Mm-hmm.
You then explains in detail the type of work her father was doing, right, and why he missed so many birthdays, etc. Because that's why she was mad about her father and how she didn't understand Arcane
Obviously,
was
right?
like that important. But then she starts to realize. So then you goes to the bad guys layout, which is kind of like in standard building. It's not like Batman. It's not like a cave, but like it's just like a standard house. Everyone and it all looks in place. He literally walks through the front door. The boss, I think, makes a comment, and be like, "Oh, I wasn't expecting that." He gets in a fight with this one dude.
This guy is in
Speed.
yeah, this oh, the speedy guy. Okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he gets in the yeah, hey, don't spell that yet, Chester.
Yeah, I was thinking about the other one. You know exactly which one I was thinking about
No,
too.
no, no. I will send you it your way when it
No.
comes, okay?
I know exactly which one you're talking about. Okay, cool. I was thinking
All
about
right,
the
so
other one, but you're right.
Yeah, you were. So you fight the speedy guy. This dude is so proud of his speed. He's like, running around you like in a circle. He's like you can't see me, and like he's like, I'm like hyping it up more than it is, right? He's like trying to figure out ways to do it. Then he gets his voice in his head that they never like explain, but we can kind of tell it's from his sensei. We'll tell you why later. Um, and then miraculously beats the speedy guy, and then another dude pops up, and this dude studies like an ancient karate method where it's like one punch is like internally, not externally.
Mm-hmm.
So that karate dude got a clear punch on you, as he was in the middle of killing the speedy guy.
The speedy
You
guy.
escaped because that one punch from the karate dude was very, very bad, right? You felt it immediately. I don't think we've ever seen him take that much damage.
True.
Obviously, the boss is mad because the Spriggan escaped, and he's like, "Why did?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I must have lost my touch or something," right?
Mm-hmm.
So then they take a break from the good guys and they go back to the bad guys. The bad guys right now are in the middle of the desert, not far away from the city, but far enough away where they test the skull as a nuclear bomb. Like they charge it somehow, and then it like literally blows up like a bomb. And then the skull's still intact,
So I think the
right?
whole thing with that is the crystal skulls are they they're ancient for sure, and they've been found in different parts of the world. That's a whole different
Mhm.
story. The thing with the skulls is that they are said to contain so much energy and so much potential power energy in them that they basically were able to extract some of it and use it as a weapon. But yeah, the way that they use it, it's they charge a laser with it and they basically set off a nuclear explosion with it. So
Pretty much.
it's the weirdest thing.
And then it goes back to the Spriggan. Actually, oh no, pause. Sorry. It actually goes back to so they test it and then the boss takes it into kind of like this rented out movie theater where he's trying to sell it and show it off to oh, what were their names? Like high counselor people or whatever.
Yeah, basically it's the backers of this right wing extremist group.
Yeah,
Um,
so
they
sorry.
do kind of go back into explaining it. Um, it feels not. It doesn't feel like it. The best way to explain it is that some of these people, or the at least the leader of this group, is a neo-Nazi that was originally in the Nazi Party. So because Hitler was looking for the crystal skull, he found the crystal skull, and his plan is then to uh, raise the Reich again and pick up right where it left off back in World War II.
I
So,
missed that part. Yep.
did you?
Whoops. Yeah,
Ah,
I did.
okay.
That
So
was a good
it's a
catch.
good thing. Yeah, it's a good thing I was paying attention then.
You
Because
gotta explain the scar on the dude's face, on the boss's face.
on the dudes, he had a scar. I think I missed that part. Oh, he did have a scar. Um,
Yeah. And the
from
reason why he's like freaking destroying that.
I don't remember why.
Bro, I don't know
Uh,
why there's so much freaking detail in this episode.
I
Like
don't.
all of them.
Yeah, no, it's weird. This one especially did have a lot of details. They it since it is based on some.
Mainly bad guys.
Yeah, well, again, mainly because it's based on a lot of things that are actually real and plausible, and things that have happened, and things that could happen. If those theories are true, then yeah, I'm guessing that's why they overloaded this particular episode with so much specific specifics. But yeah, he has a scar on. Sorry, the leader of this faction has a scar on the left side of his face. I can't remember why he
He
has a
got it
scar.
from when it was a kid. And there was a bombing that the Japanese or Chinese did. So that is why he has so much like hatred towards, for example, that country, and why he wants a skull. The
So
skull
in all
is
honesty,
so
it
he can redo that, but to the opposing people that scarred him.
okay. See that to me that never actually clicked because the Japanese and the Germans were on the same side, and that's why that didn't make any sense to me. But okay, why
Well, like
not?
it's also past tense too, though, right? Because they might have not necessarily been on the same side back when he was like that child in this movie, for example.
Mhm.
We don't know that,
True,
right? Because they showed that he was in a war, and we don't know who they were in a war with.
that's true.
But we know who he wants to attack, which we can assume that it was the person that obviously scarred him because he wants to do it in bomb like. Right. So then he explains that to the he doesn't explain that to the military personnel or whatever, like the counselors, but they're like he wants money from them so he can do the ultimate plan. And then that's when the Spriggan gets shows up with the speedy dude and then the ninja karate dudes there and the serial killer, the knife dude.
Yeah.
Um,
So
and
it
then
turns out his that the karate guy is none other than Yu's teacher, who ends up being Oboro.
Mhm.
I'm thinking they kind of try to make it like a play on words with Ouroboros, but
yeah, but it's also he was undercover too, so that's why
the
you
karate dude.
sensei, the karate dude, allowed him to escape is so that like because he's like, yeah, I know you, you're fine, run,
Yeah,
right?
probably. But more than
And
likely, I
then
mean,
in
he
the
didn't want to
theater,
kill his own student.
yeah, in the theater, um, the freaking what's it called? The serial killer, the dude that chopped up the
Yeah, I think he was a serial killer.
archaeologist,
Yeah.
captured the girl, right? The daughter of the archaeologist.
Hmm.
So obviously the sensei is taking down the fast dude. The boss ran away with the skull. All the counselors ran away like little shits.
Of course.
And then you is going after the serial killer. She gets away. He kills her. He falls off a building. The karate dude and the speedy dude are fighting right now. Um, the professor's daughter and you are on a chase for the skull with the boss,
Hmm.
right? So they're in a car chasing down. Um, as well as the karate dude and speed dude are fighting through the town now. The speed dude's trying to run away, but the karate guy is just like kind of like chilling and just walking up behind him. And he's like, "Why are you so slow? Are you really that fond of your ability that you can't run away from me?" Right?
I think
And
he
he's
says,
like,
"Are
"You
you
do
really that
realize,
fond of your muscles?" Because
yeah, or whatever,
the
yeah."
Speedy dude, for some reason, he's so stacked. It just seems
It's
like
weird.
the muscles might not help him out with the running. You know, it might actually be slowing him down.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah.
obviously the karate dude beats the speedy dude and he's like, you need more training, and then they leave. You and the girl are on a chase on the road right now for the um goal. They
Mhm.
had a grenade, they obviously won, the boss's truck flipped, etc. They're able to get the skull, and then the karate dude caught up, took a vehicle and caught up that way, killed the boss, and then that's kind of it. Comments.
Um, comment? No, it's just I think you did actually really well on this one.
I think you need to like for I just didn't empathize like fighting scenes. Those are scenes you just need to watch.
Yeah, true.
Like you
Which,
can't really. Yeah,
yeah,
I feel
no,
like for speeding through that one, we didn't waste too much time.
true.
That was one of the. I feel like we're getting better.
I think you might be right on that one. We are getting a little bit better. Give me one sec here because I'm kind of speeding through the episode, trying to. There we go. So I have a small scene of the speedy dude and the use teacher. So give me a sec. I'm gonna go ahead and pan over to it and play some of it so that you guys know what we're talking about. The big dude is the one that I was saying his bulk is probably just slowing him down, and the other one,
The sensei also makes that comment too.
oh really? Huh.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's like
well,
those.
fair
You're
enough.
so proud of those muscles. You shouldn't be because they're like slowing you down or
The
whatever.
shit.
Essentially.
All right, so give me one sec. I'm gonna go ahead and play that, and then I'll switch back over.
How? He spent years developing the doppelganger technique. How does he have so many more doppelgangers than I do?
And now you may perceive the true potential of your technique.
There you go. And in that one, we see, yeah, the big guy, the blonde guy is pretty fast, but somehow use teacher is like 50 times faster. And he does kind of explain to you that, like, he never had any enhancements the way that he did. He did this all on his own. Those are all, that's just his own power, his own abilities that he has. How? I have no idea. Anyways, it's a good thing
Hard
it's
work and dedication.
no, it's bullcrap. Come on, steroids.
All right. So, episode 6.
Episode 6.
Do you want me to speed through and you fill in?
Episode 6 is called The Forgotten Kingdom, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Oh, sweet, I got it right. All right, so episode 6 is called The Forgotten Kingdom. Now, on this one, you cause an old friend to help investigate an eerie island appearing intermittently on an empty ocean. Upon arriving, you must face its past. So on this one, the Island of Ghosts, it's called, rises up from the depths of the Pacific Ocean for the first time in 40 years. Now, this island, for some reason, for whatever reason, we haven't found out just yet. Every 40 years or so, it comes in, it appears out of nowhere, and then not too long after, it disappears completely. It doesn't show up on radar, doesn't show up on maps, doesn't show up anywhere. Now, for this one, you happily or unhappily in this time, he teams up with somebody called Yoshino Some, the little girl, as
Girl
he,
from the Forest
yeah, from
podcast
episode
where
3.
she steals artifacts and she's a shit and then just causes problems.
Yeah, and I think that's fair to say it's very unhappily because she, more than anything, more than just like saving his ass or anything, she's more of a pain in the ass. So I completely would agree with him on this one.
Him.
Now, in the meantime, in the meantime, we are introduced to another character called Larry Markison from something called the Trident Corporation, who arrives on the island on a U.S. Navy vessel. He's looking for the same secrets that they all are. Why the island's coming in and going out, why they call it the Ghost Island, why they all this stuff. Now, accompanying him is somebody else called Bowman, one of Yu's former mentors. Now, they do kind of explain more and more on this later. But once they get to the island, Bowman and Yu engage in a final battle. It's basically a
Jesus, you
teacher.
skipped so much.
I did, but we're speeding through this, right?
Holy, no, no, no.
Okay.
Okay,
Wow.
pause. You
Okay.
were dismissed.
No,
Fuck.
no, no,
Yes,
no,
you are. You were
no, no, no,
dismissed.
no,
Okay,
no,
so
no, no, no,
they
no, no.
leave for the island. No, 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 no.
Okay, this
Okay.
is all. This is all filler. I can promise you 100%.
Dude, just
It's
okay,
filler.
pause. Just let
Okay,
me
but
just
no, okay.
okay.
While
You
you
can do
look,
the
hang on.
fight.
No,
No.
no, 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 no,
Yes.
no.
You can do the fight. I'll just fucking do the rest real quick. Holy dude.
I mean, if you had let me finish, I would have gone back to it because they do explain some more later on.
Okay, no.
Yes. Okay. Anyways, now okay, I'll go back. Now on the way to the island, they do find a commercial vessel, commercial ship. They
They
kind
run
of
into a commercial
they
ship.
find it. They run into it. It's the same things though. Chance the thing is they find it out in the ocean near where the island is. Now,
Are you forgetting the fight in the ocean, Chester?
bro, that's where I'm headed right now. They
Oh my
find the
god.
ship. It's a commercial ship.
Uh-huh.
They
Okay,
see it as a
okay.
commercial ship.
Mhm.
Christ. You see? Do you see what I have to deal with? Anyways,
It's not my fault you skipped to the end and then fucking went back to the beginning.
no, I didn't skip to the end. There's still
You did.
like 50 minutes worth there
Are you
where
gonna
I
stop
had.
bitching until?
I will if you stop bitching, Jesus Christ. Anyways, they find the ship, and at first they try to hail them. They get no answer. Out of nowhere, they start launching. They launch missiles, and it's not torpedoes. They're missiles. They're going to the air. Where the ship that you is on does brings out the countermeasures. So they have missile jamming or tracking track jamming, and what are they? They're lasers, right? And for some reason, it waits until the very last second to actually home in on the missile itself. It blows up just before it hits, and then they find out this is it's not a commercial ship. It's actually going to be part of the army, part of the navy. So once they figure that out, they start to speed into not into. They start speeding towards that same ship. The ship then starts launching missile after missile after missile after missile, and the ship that you is on starts countermeasure. The person that you had met on the way to the ship tells them, you know what, start just put all the power into speed. It's not going to last. It's not going to last for too long, but we might be able to outrun them and everything that they've got, get to the island first, and start working on what's going on in the island before the other ship does. So they bust out the batteries, they start charging them up, and they start using them, which puts them at a speed of 80 knots going towards the ship and going towards the island. If you guys don't know how fast 40 knots is, please feel free to look it up. But it's incredibly fast, especially for something like a aircraft carrier. So they start doing that. At the same time, their lasers are being used to intercept and blow up the missiles coming in towards them, which are just barely getting the job done. Okay, and now Snow, if you would like to, go ahead.
Did you explain the laser cannons?
I did.
Okay. So they're on the island now, yes?
Yes, they finally get
Okay.
to the island.
Okay, so they start exploring. They find these huge pyramids. Think of Egypt. But they are made out of this material and this metal that's been seen throughout the thing. You can't
Orichalcum.
break it. Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
You can't break it, etc. It's really strong, and the way it's cut is very, very impressive. They're very in awe of it. Obviously, they get bombarded with these like uh kind of like pirate mummies. I don't know how like these giant, really tall, stick leg pirate mummies. The Spriggan takes them out. The freaking brat shit little girl runs off.
She honestly is
Sorry.
so annoying. My God.
Okay, honestly though, I feel like that was a perfect description. So she runs off.
Yeah,
She's like
no,
treasure.
100%. Yes.
While they're fighting, right? And it takes like 4 men just to take one of those mummy pirate things down because they're protecting the island. But the Spriggans able to take them all down. So they're like, oh wow, right? So then they run to freedom, like not freedom, they run to safety, sorry. Ah,
You
freedom.
see, even you can mess
Um,
up on this one.
and then what's it called? The Spriggan holds back and then notices that there's a present nearby, and then that is when he's reintroduced to his past teacher, which is a soldier now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The soldier shows him his power, the ability, be like, Spriggan, you got soft on me, etc. They have this heartwarming thing. Okay. Meantime, the use I don't know, team that he went with are trying to make their way back to the ship, but they're fighting a lot of mummy things, so
Mm-hmm.
it's taking them longer.
Something
Um,
something that we did forget, both Snow and myself, and I
hmm,
do want to say sorry about, is
I was
that
getting to the brat. Is that what
yeah,
oh, okay.
definitely. Um, while you is with the brat, the really annoying brat, she starts wiring or rewiring up. What are they, generators?
No. Um, that is after. So here's why, and this is why
It
is
is
what Chester
okay.
just said
Yeah,
why
true.
will
Okay,
make
okay.
sense. So you makes contact again with his past teacher, technically the soldier. The brat finds the necklace. This will make sense, chat. Um, the brat finds this necklace, briefcase, and she's like, "Ooh, treasure." Fucking annoying.
So
Sorry.
annoying. Jesus Christ.
Personal feelings. So she puts it on, and since she's like the people that can talk to the dead, whatever they
A medium, medium.
medium. Okay, I was gonna say Zeus, but I'm like, that's not right.
No, that's not.
I was like, yeah. Medium. She touches the necklace and then she has flashbacks of why the island's there, what it's there for, and what's gonna happen to it. Okay. So then she freaks out and then runs towards the Spriggan and the soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She stops the fight and she gets them to listen somehow miraculously with her annoyingness. She explains that the reason why the ghost island rises is because the ancient people would go there to teleport into the worlds that they needed to go to. Right. So it's like a kind of like a teleport device from top. Um,
But
but
it's an interdimensional teleporter.
yes.
Not an interplanetary, but it's an interdimensional teleporter.
And it's been charging this whole time for the last like 40 years. It's been charging and it's at its capacity where it will explode. If it explodes on its own, it will like take out like miles and miles to a point where it'll touch line, even though they're in the middle of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
It was like this huge thing. So that is when they find one of these old planes back in some world war. I think it was World War II or something, like the
Yeah, I
bomb.
think so. Yeah.
And then they were going to activate it and then kind of set off the island before it was able to self destruct. Right. So then the soldier and you are working together to get that done. Obviously, the soldier wants the necklace. That is his key priority of his mission. Long story short, they're able to get it to self-destruct. It's on a timer. It's set on a timer for 1 hour.
An hour and
And
30 minutes.
okay,
90,
pardon
90
me.
minutes total, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh, something like that. I just remember some long amount of time.
Yeah, but for some
Um,
reason, apparently, that's gonna be enough time.
Yeah, because they were gonna fight. The
Uh,
soldier and you were gonna fight.
It's like they
So
have
the
a
girl
hard on for
runs.
fighting for 90 minutes straight.
Yeah, the girl runs towards the team that they came with. She nades the extra skeleton things, and they were able to get back on ship. She explains what's happening to the captain. Captain's like, we got to get out. Meanwhile, the Spriggan and the soldier are fighting. They're obviously having the heartwarming discussion of like, why did you betray us? Why did you change sides? What are you doing? And then the soldier's just kind of being genuine about it. He's just like, Arkham isn't always what it seems like is what you think it is, right? You kind of have
Mm-hmm.
to make your own decisions and be aware of what you're doing isn't always right.
Which
Kind of
is
thing
probably
because
the
the soul,
best thing in the entire anime
yeah.
that they've said, that they've ever brought
And
up.
then they also do that, but they also build on his character where they show a backflash in use training with the soldier of like how the soldier is teaching you to appreciate the natural nature, right? He's like, it doesn't matter how long we're here, but nature will always be like top of the food chain essentially, right? Like this
Right.
is like doesn't matter where we are or anything we just destroy, but look at how peaceful this is in the middle of nowhere, right? You wins the fight somehow. I feel like yeah, so
He
he
goes
wins.
he basically goes Super Saiyan on him.
Hmm.
Like his eyes
The
go red,
yeah.
his powers
So
awaken. Which
mhm.
it's not a power up. He's always had these powers. He's always like in
He's used them
episodes.
here and there.
Yeah,
Episode 4, he had used them.
yeah. Like apparently it happens on times when there's like a lot of stress, a lot of pressure, life or death situations, stuff like that.
So obviously the Spriggan wins. Then he leaves the necklace behind. He goes to the edge of the island. The girl came back from the annoying brat. Only good thing she's done. And then they uh go back to the boat, and the boat powers like they power up the boosters, and then they literally boost out of there just in time, and they etc. So yeah, I think that was pretty much it, Chester, for the whole anime.
I think so. So far, if they do get a season two, I think they'll explain more about the red eyes, about the abilities, about more things about what Arkham does and is. But if it doesn't, then the only other thing that we can do is go pick up the manga, go pick up the anime in book form. Which who does that anymore?
Mm,
Right right. To be honest, I love manga. I love reading. I love actually going out and reading the physical copies. But yeah, if they don't do a season two, that's the only thing that we're gonna be able to do to find any information out. So hopefully they do a season two. Maybe it's gonna be out this year if we get lucky. If not, then it's maybe next year. Um, up to this
over,
point, go
although
ahead.
the anime was really good. Sorry.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's probably one of the few animes that I've seen where the CGI is used nicely into the animation. It doesn't look clunky, it doesn't look like blocky, it doesn't look like it's just it's just doesn't look like it's set short in a weird loop where it's just like up down, up down, up down. So, yeah, no. I liked it. Good anime, good story for the most part.
Read. So,
All right, now we did actually want to say what the next anime that we're going to be watching and speaking about is, and we came down to two, but we narrowed that down to just one. I think it was just this morning, right?
uh,
Or was it yesterday?
yesterday night, something like
Last
that.
night,
Yesterday evening.
I think last night we came down to two. This morning we narrowed it down to one. And then if you want to do the other one, we can do that one afterwards. But for this week or
I think I
these,
have another one after following that's going to be completely different of what we've been doing.
oh, that works for me. Okay,
Yeah.
so the one that we're gonna be watching and talking about maybe these next 2 weeks or however long we see if we can extend the anime or not, it's gonna be Spy Family. So
We'll also change the podcast day to Monday instead of Friday, and then we'll also see if we're gonna be splitting it into like a two-time podcast through 1 week instead of it spending, what is it, like 2.5 hours doing one podcast for 6 episodes.
about an hour ish.
Yeah. Well, I also think the reason why this one took particularly longer is because of the episodes were that much more intense, where compared to a re-assassination kind of one was like
True, that one was fun though. You gotta admit that one was fun.
100%. But it's like, for example, though, like if I feel like if we split that into 3 instead of 6, like we did,
We
there would
probably
have
would
been
have
a
been
lot
able to
more. And
talk a little bit more about stuff.
yeah, so
Yeah,
I think we might do that.
true. Also, I think this anime was a little bit. It did take a little bit longer for us to talk about it because the anime episodes were longer than they are. So instead of the
Yeah.
24 minutes, it was 45, 47 minutes.
Yeah, so it was a bit longer and it was a bit more detailed too. No, but I think we should try the 3 episodes
I think
just
so
so
too.
then
Yeah,
we're not gonna get
we don't get
as rushed and what's it
Yeah,
called? Lose interest.
true,
So,
true.
but I think we should call it there.
I think so too. So if you guys enjoyed it, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We will be posting the videos regularly, semi-regularly. We're gonna try to keep to a schedule. Like Snow said, we'll be discussing them on Mondays. Hopefully by Tuesday, the episodes are gonna be uploaded onto the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is gonna be the one that you're watching it right now on Chester, CH3STRR. You can find that by looking that up. This video is also going to be uploaded onto my Twitch. And if Snow wants, I'm going to go ahead and send it over to her so she can upload it to her Twitch if she'd like. But as for now, we're going to go ahead and call it a night. That was us talking for about an hour straight about Spriggan. You guys want to talk about something? Comments down below. You guys have a great night, though.
Join the Discord. Bye.
Why join the Discord? Are we making a new Discord for this?
No, you could literally just add a chat to it. You act like this Discord is very organized. It's not.
Okay, well, that was a surprise to me, but join the Discord apparently. And to join the Discord, you're gonna have to go to Snow's Twitch channels, which is Snow5030 on Twitch. So there's a link there. I don't have it on mine, but she has it on hers. So you're gonna have to hunt it down. So have fun with that. You guys have a great one. Join the Twitch. Join the Twitch streams. Join the Discord. Subscribe. You guys have a great one. Bye bye.